Eiffel Tower. Top 10 things you should know before visiting the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is a fashioned iron grid tower on the Winner de Mars in Paris, France. It is named after the engineer Gustave Eiffel, whose organization planned and assembled the tower. Privately nicknamed La Woman de Fer, French for Iron Woman, it was built from 1887 to 1889 as the focal point of the 1889 World's Fair and was at first scrutinized by a portion of France's driving engineers and scholarly people for its plan, yet it has turned into a worldwide social symbol of France and perhaps of the most unmistakable construction on the planet. The Eiffel Tower is the most visited landmark, with an extra charge on the planet. 6.91 million individuals rose it in 2015. It was assigned a landmark historique in 1964 and was named Piece of an UNESCO World Legacy Site, Paris, Banks of the Seine, in 1991. The tower is 330 meters, 1,083 feet tall, about a similar level as a 81-story building, and the tallest design in Paris. Its base is square, estimating 125 meters, 410 feet, on each side. During its development, the Eiffel Tower outperformed the Washington landmark to turn into the tallest human-made structure on the planet, a title it held for quite some time until the Chrysler working in New York City was done in 1930. It was the main design on the planet to outperform both the 200-meter and 300-meter mark in level. Because of the expansion of a telecom elevated at the highest point of the tower in 1957, it is presently taller than the Chrysler working by 5.2 meters, 17 feet. Barring transmitters, the Eiffel Tower is the second tallest unsupported construction in France after the Millau Viaduct. The tower has 3 levels for guests, with eateries on the first and second levels. The high level's upper stage is 276 meters, 906 feet, over the ground, the most elevated perception deck available to general society in the European Association. Tickets can be bought to rise by steps or lift to the first and second levels. The move from ground level to the primary level is north of 300 stages, just like the move from the principal level to the second, making the whole rising a 600-stage climb. Despite the fact that there is a flight of stairs to the high level, it is generally open exclusively by lift. History. Beginning. The plan of the Eiffel Tower is ascribed to Maurice Koechlin and Émile Noguier, two senior engineers working for the Compagnie des Établissements Eiffel. It was imagined after conversation about a reasonable focal point for the proposed 1889 Piece Universelle, a world's reasonable to commend the centennial of the French upset. Eiffel transparently recognized that motivation for a tower came from the Latin Observatory worked in New York City in 1853. In May 1884, working at home, Koechlin made a sketch of their thought, depicted by him as an extraordinary arch, comprising of 4 grid supports standing separated at the base and meeting up at the top, consolidated by metal brackets at ordinary intervals. Eiffel at first showed little energy, however he endorsed further review, and the two engineers then, at that point, asked Stephen Sylvester, the top of the organization's structural division, to add to the plan. Sylvester added ornamental curves to the foundation of the tower, a glass structure to the primary level, and different embellishments. Development. Work on the establishments began on 28 January 1887. 18th July 1887, the beginning of the erection of the metalwork. 7th December 1887, development of the legs with platform. 20 Walk 1888, fulfillment of the primary level. 15th May 1888, beginning of development on the subsequent stage. 21st August 1888, culmination of the subsequent level. 26th December 1888, development of the upper stage. 15 Walk 1889, development of the vault. Lifts. Outfitting the tower with sufficient and safe traveler lifts was a central issue of the Public Authority Commission regulating the work. Albeit a few guests could be anticipated to move to the principal level, or even the second, lifts plainly must be the primary method for climb. Initiation and the 1889 piece. The super underlying work was finished toward the finish of Walk 1889 and, on 31st Walk, Eiffel celebrated by driving a gathering of government authorities, joined by delegates of the press, to the highest point of the tower. Since the lifts were not yet in activity, the rising was made by foot and assumed control north of 60 minutes, with Eiffel halting regularly to make sense of different elements. A large portion of the party decided to stop at the lower levels, yet a couple, including the primary engineer. The travel industry. Transport. The closest Paris metro station is Bir Hakeim, and the closest RER station is Winner de Mars. Visit Eiffel. The actual tower is situated at the convergence of the Quai Branly and the Pont d'Iéna. Popularity. Number of guests each year somewhere in the range of 1889 and 2004. In excess of 250 million individuals have visited the tower since it was finished in 1889. In 2015, there were 6.91 million visitors. The tower is the most visited paid landmark in the world. A normal of 25,000 individuals rise the tower each day, which can result in lengthy queues. Restaurants. The tower has two cafes, Les 58 Visit Eiffel on the main level, and Les Jules Verne, a connoisseur eatery with its own lift on the subsequent level. This eatery has 1 star in the Michelin Red 8.